Up some news. We're going to do news. We are live. Okay, yeah. Hey, Milena. How we doing? We're going to be talking about the news. If you want to get on Twitch or YouTube, we're also on Twitch or YouTube. Hello, everybody. How's all my people doing? We have to get the screen up. We got a couple videos queued today. It's a big news day, sort of. We're still living in the aftermath, the terrifying aftermath of what's happened to our yeah, of course they're gonna. It says here that Hakeem Jeffrey says that AI data centers will be a Democratic priority. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with him on that one. We are going to do our best to get as many AI data centers in there as possible. So we're pretty excited about that. How's everybody doing over on Instagram? Good to see you. Let's see what else we got here. Jim Clyburn has taken more than $1 million in pharma money in a decade, far surpassing his peers. You know, Jim Clyburn, that's what it's all about. I think he's like 80 years old. He really, really helped President Biden make sure that he scuttled Bernie Sanders' chances. That's really all we need. You know what I mean? He is a hero. Jim Clyburn is a hero, and I think he's like 82 or something. So I'm glad to see everything shaping up in the Democrats' favor going into midterms. I would really like to see Graham Plattner fail. But, you know, he just keeps being strong military guy, which, you know, we would love him if he were moderate. But unfortunately, you know, he's a crazy man. He's not a moderate. He's a radical. Let's get rid of our funding for our very special victim, ally, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Let's see what the White House is saying.
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right. Because gas or battery, your local Ace is the destination with the best power.
I don't want to pay for CNN. Do you think I want to pay for CNN? I'm not going to pay for CNN. Why would I pay for CNN? The Ellisons already pay me. They pay. Hey, is this where I sign up to bomb poor people overseas in exchange for selling out my constituents? This is exactly where you do that, Tin. Welcome to the party, baby. This is exactly where you're in the right place, my friend.
Or society every single day. Not live in a country where such constant fear of political violence permeates our society every single day. We can and we should have fierce disagreement in this country. As you all know, we disagree often.
No, you know, I think we shouldn't have any disagreement with the Democratic establishment. Sorry, Caroline, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. But we can all agree that Zoran Mamdani and Bernie Sanders are terrifying individuals.
In this role and all of you in the news media, but those disagreements must remain peaceful. Debating, peaceful protesting, and voting are how we need to settle disagreements, not bullets. Nobody.
Well, you know, to be fair, Caroline, to be fair, not to be disrespectful to the president of the United States, but if you're going to be going with the peaceful protesting, not solving, you know, if you're going to go with peaceful protesting not being solved with the pew-pews, you know, you point one finger, 4-point back at you. Take a look at Minneapolis, young lady. Did you forget all about that? We didn't forget about it. That's why we need common sense reforms on ICE, even though the base wants to abolish it. Sorry, base.
In recent years has faced more bullets and more violence than President Trump. This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party, and even some in the media. This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped to legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
Well, Caroline, I mean, to be fair, we're comparing him to Hitler because he's imposing a lot of the same policies. And frankly, all the industrialists and the moderates are sucking up to him, just like they did to Hitler. So, I mean, I think it's an apt characterization. Now, if you're telling us in the Democratic establishment, you want us to tone down our rhetoric, then I will make sure that our strongly worded letters are a little less strongly worded. I can do that. I'm a man of compromise, except we don't compromise with socialists. Zoran Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, AOC. No, no, no.
The left-wing cult of hatred against the president and all of those who support him and work for him has gotten multiple people hurt and killed, and it almost did so again this weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, Caroline, you were the one.
Hi. Could you please submit your expenses today?
I don't need another advertisement. Stop it. Stop it. Also, Caroline Leavitt. It seems like she's really hit a stride with her yeah, strongly worded letter is definitely the clear choice here, Tin. You're absolutely right about that. Caroline Leavitt seems to have hit a stride with her plastic surgeon. I remember what that was like with my third wife. You know, she would go, she would get a little bit added, she'd get a little bit taken away. And it seems like she's really getting to that glow state, which good for her. We, the Democrats, are a party of girl bosses. Oh, my man. Let's see what it is. Left versus right, right versus wrong. Here we go. Cory Booker.
Why am I partnering with MAHA people and folks even on the other side of the political aisle when it comes to getting chemicals out of our food system? It's because so many issues in America are not left or right. They're right or wrong. And in many ways, the left-right.
Yeah, so let me break this down for you. The reason why he's partnering with them, if you're one of his donors, you don't have to worry about it. He has not taken any money from Monsanto. He has not taken any money from processed food companies. He's not betraying his donors. Okay? And he's talking about right versus wrong here, but he knows who butters his bread. All right? Starts with an A, ends with a C, and there's an IPA in the middle. And I'm not talking about India Pale Ale. I'm talking about APAC. Right versus wrong when it comes to processed foods, not when it comes to the G word. Don't get worried.
Political divide is not serving our families, not serving our economic strength, not serving our health. Too much big corporations and their lobbyists play on both sides of the aisle, hurting us. We have to begin to elevate the issues. And this is why I continue to fight on something I've been fighting for years and years.
We have to continue to elevate the issues that aren't going to lower us. For instance, we don't want Cory taking a strong stance on Citizens United. We don't want him taking a strong stance on Gaza. We don't want him taking a strong stance on anybody who's looking to fundamentally change this country, unless it's a strong stance against. But I'm not asking him to not endorse Zoran Mamdani. All I'm asking him to do is avoid endorsing populist candidates. That's really all I'm asking him to do. I just want him to continue to walk that tightrope in the middle.
Years. In fact, I filed an amicus brief with the Supreme Court of the United States, standing with the people against the big chemical companies, Monsanto and Bayer, who want to take away our rights to sue them for the illnesses that they push into our community. Let's stand up, especially when it comes to something as sacred as the food we eat and the people who grow it for us.
Yeah, I think, I think Monsanto and Bayer, they really ought to meet Cory. I think they'd like him. I think he's doing a good job, and, he's got to do something, unfortunately. That's something that, we've been trying harder and harder and harder. Oh, my God. Did he really show up on the floor? I told him that the next time he pays patty cake with Mitch McConnell, he needs to do it with a helmet on, or he needs to show up for work the next day 6 hours late and not go talk. And look at what Chuck does. He's a cowboy. He's a cowboy. Mr. Chuck Schumer, 4 o'clock in the morning last night. Him and Mitch McConnell are playing patty cake. Mitch pulls out one of his crutches, and what does he do? He decks Chuck, my best friend, right in the forehead. God, Chuck, come on. They're going to think you look weak, man. Oh, here we go. Dynamo. D-Y-N-A-M-O. Mallory.
We have to treat Mike Rogers like he is the incumbent, even though he's not. The Republican Senate Leadership Fund just announced this week they will spend $45 million here in Michigan.
Don't worry, Mallory. AIPAC's got your back.
Boo. That is more than they will spend in Georgia, Maine, Iowa, Alaska, and New Hampshire. Because they know that if they can buy this seat for Mike Rogers, then they block Democrats of having any path to flipping the U.S. Senate. So
we're not really too worried about flipping the Senate. We just want to make sure that we have enough people that will support our ally in the Middle East. That's what we need. We don't want any, things are good right now. I mean, they're bad for people, but they're good for corporations. So we're going to throw our weight behind Mallory because Haley Stevens, unfortunately, she has the same amount of charisma as Granola. And we pulled out Mallory's AIPAC paper, the secret one, and she's a pretty good writer. We like her positions. So Chuck Schumer is throwing his weight behind Mallory McMorrow. Watch her. Abdul El Sayed, no.
The only candidate in this race who has beaten a Republican incumbent to get into the office. The only candidate in this race who for the last few cycles has been campaigning statewide, not for myself, but to build real power, to help people. And as majority whip in this building every single day, I'm the only candidate in this race who keeps our caucus together with my leadership, but also picks up relationships on the other side of the aisle.
Yes, bipartisanship. If there's anything we've learned, it's that you can capitulate to the right wing and still make very good pro-business policies. That's why Mallory McMorrow has grown on me. When I found out she was a progressive, I was afraid. There's nothing that scares me more than progress. As a Democrat consultant, I am scared of progress. But based on what Mallory has said and not said and avoided saying, I can say for certain that when push comes to shove, she's going to do the right thing by the caucus. And by the right thing, I mean nothing. No, you're pumping the algo. That's what I'm talking about, Tin. You're not spamming. Yes, just like my Kamala bot farm. I love you, Tin. I love you, Tin. Keep spamming, baby. If the Cuomo bots had the same amount of acumen as you did, we would have beat that Zohan. Thank you, Tin. You're going to get a free merch pack when the first merch pack comes out. You and Mr. Kruger are the two people who are getting free merch packs. You get merch packs for spamming the algo. It's going to be great. So for those of you who are joining me on TikTok, you can also find me on Twitch at Democrat Consultant. And if you don't have Twitch because you're old like me, my grandson set me up on the Twitch. We got a YouTube here that I bought off of a piece of crap comedian, a failed comedian from Chicago, Small Plates. We got a Twitch. We got a YouTube here. Feel free to join. If you're on Instagram, same goes for you, but you can see the screen. You can see what we're referencing. So, yeah, we're just going to keep chipping away. Let's see what we got. We got Mallory McMorrow. I think she's pretty calm. Here we go. Ala Stanford.
Communities. You also said you're running to abolish ICE. Mm-hmm. This is something that we've heard other Democrats and activists talk about.
Yeah.
From an immigration enforcement perspective,
yes.
Who do you think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws?
It's a good question. And you can pause because I just want to think about it for a minute. Go ahead.
We need to continue though.
Okay. Who do I think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws? Not the executive branch. So
that's an excellent non-answer. I don't know if you saw her answer about refusing to use the G word to characterize the crimes against humanity our ally is committing, but that was a pretty great non-answer. This is her second best non-answer.
Not the president. So it belongs with Congress. It belongs with Congress.
Now, the answer some of you might have been looking for if you actually thought she wanted to abolish ICE is that she wants to make, a lot of radicals are saying that we should make immigration a civil offense again. Love you, Tin. God, you're the best. A lot of people are saying that abolish ICE. If you abolish ICE, you can make immigration a civil offense again, just like it was before 9/11. Never forget. Now, what happened is after 9/11, Patriot Act. Democrats loved that one. Chuck Schumer, big proponent of the Patriot Act. And we made immigration a criminal offense. And we created ICE. And it stopped being a civil offense. Our privatized prison contractors were all about it. They love national security, especially if it ends up with federally subsidizing the housing of millions and millions of detainees. So, you know, she could have said, well, I want to make it a civil offense again because then we won't detain anybody. But she knows that if you're going to get money from the worst people in this country, defense contractors, privatized prison groups, people like that, you better mind your P's and Q's, because that's why we don't want to abolish ICE. We want common sense reform of ICE because that will allow us to reform. We'll make sure that all the ICE agents have COVID-19 vaccines, for instance. That's what we need to do in order to protect the American citizens. I know that might not seem like the case. And the Trump administration, those SOBs, they're out of hand. But, you know, we can't go all the way back to the 90s because our donors would hate that. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Woo! Hakeem Jeffries, let's go, baby.
Well, so with respect to this comment about maximum warfare, even if it's about redistricting, why not tone down the language here in this moment?
I think that what's interesting to me, as you pointed out, is that the so-called White House press secretary, who's a disgrace, she's a stone cold liar.
Whoa, Jesus. What's he doing? He's not toning it down.
Had the nerve to stand up there and read talking points being critical of statements all taken out of context that Democrats have made and didn't have a word to say about anything that MAGA extremists have said or done, including providing aid and comfort to violent insurrectionists here at this Capitol on January 6th who brutally beat police officers.
He did not listen to my talking points. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Yeah, well, you know, I thought he was, that was a little aggressive for my taste. You know, I heard that his priority wasn't going to be impeaching the president, and I thought, good stuff. But now I'm hearing this. And that's not anything Chuck Schumer would have said. You know, he must have gotten that from Pelosi or something, because that is, whew, I'd like to tone down the rhetoric. Oh, this is one of my, oh, let's see what we got here. Look at these two extremists. Here we go. Here we go. Nothing more dangerous than a couple of guys. One of them doesn't even wear a tie. Not even wearing a tie. You know who dresses like that? The president of Iran. He is not a Democrat, okay? Graham Plattner and Bernie Sanders are not Democrats. They are not Democrats. Let's see. Oh, God. Why is it that... Oh. Look at that man. He is a hero. He is a hero. Did anybody see his speech recently? Oh, they're all elite class traders. They don't even want Palantir money. That's right, Tin. They never want Palantir money. They could have it. They could have all of it. Oh, we're going to do a misrepresentation of what Hassan's saying. Sign me up.
Do you guys have questions or you want to take photos as well? All right, let's do it.
Sorry for questioning you, but I'm sure.
What? No, I'm used to it.
I guess the thing I was talking a little bit about was, I know I'm not a fan of him either, but Richie Torres sent a big letter. But
oh god!
But in particular, there were some comments in there about sort of dismissing. A lot of people did feel very.
I helped write that letter that Richie Torres sent to Twitch to get Hassan banned, and yeah, those are rookie numbers for Chuck. You're right about that. I helped write the letter to Twitch with Richie, and I was surprised that no one read it, because when I write a strongly worded letter, I know that the president puts it in his filing cabinet. That's what he says. And I'm sure that doesn't mean garbage can, because that's usually what I call it when my wife summons me to court in order to discuss visitation. My 7th wife, Sheila. I know it's not that. So I was a little surprised that Twitch didn't ban him.
Very upset at the time. I remember seeing it about dismissing Wham on October 7th fantasy hallucinations. I mean, the UN has gone checked.
Yeah,
verified.
no. You know what's ironic? You want to know what's ironic about that? Yeah. So that was a 17-second clip that Richie Torres got from a group of people that are trying to present this narrative that I am a vicious anti-Semite that is a denial.
Yeah, he is a vicious anti-Semite. I don't know those people.
Denialist. And what's really interesting about that clip is that I went back because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And I went back and I looked at the 17-second clip that he put in that. And it was actually from a broader conversation where I was arguing against someone who was denying. And I was like, no, I think that there is a very high likelihood that sexual assaults occurred. And I even brought up the UN report.
Why can't we take anything this guy says out of context and cancel him? Why is there always more context to these Hassan clips? I hate the internet. I hate the internet. I hate the internet. If there was an internet when Mike Dukakis got in that goddamn tank, it would have showed 30 seconds before he got in the tank and 30 seconds after he got in that tank, and everybody would have laughed and they would have realized it was a joke. But no, they accused us of trying to make him look tough, and then we lost to Bush. And now we got this guy, and he's got all the context he needs because he seems like a reasonable young man, and there is no way to smear him, and it's hard. My job is hard. Oh, I hate it. Oh, God, Mike Lawler. Let's listen to what, Mike Lawler is a moderate Republican who knows how to stand up on business. He works across the aisle with Democrats all the time. Let's see what he's saying.
He went 10 flights down a stairwell and came out right by the entrance, to the stairwell to go into the ballroom is insane.
What is this guy in a Wendy's parking lot? Mike Lawler. We almost got him to be a Democrat, but then we realized that he sucks big ass. I mean, look at this dude. He looks like he eats at Arby's, and he has a choice.
You had no ID requirement to get in the building. There was no list to verify attendees. They barely looked at your ticket, and there were no magnetometers anywhere except right outside the ballroom. And you had numerous pre-dinner receptions. I mean, frankly,
what the fuck is this guy, an event planner? Mike Lawler, the Republicans. I want a ballroom in the White House too. When did this guy become a wedding planner? Oh, somebody reported me on TikTok Live. That's so nice. There's only one viewer, though, so I wonder who it was.
If this guy had come down earlier and tried to go cause damage in the pre dinner receptions, he could have caused mass casualties. So yes. There are a lot of issues, and to your point, when you go to the White House, you need ID. You need to be on a pre-approved list. You cannot just walk in. Obviously, everybody
These people are idiots. I mean, these people. I mean, we're cynical. Listen, we're cynical. We do everything we can to sound smart and confuse the shit out of the American public, so they think, okay, these guys got no choice. It's too complicated. We could do more. You know, we could do more. We just choose not to. We choose not to do more. But these Republicans, God, they are stupid. I have to go make promises to poor people I have no intention of keeping, but I'll see you soon, Connie. Keep up APAC streams alive. Tin, thanks so much for joining us. Really meant a lot, brother. Oh, look, it looks like I can buy some viewers here in Russia. This is fantastic. Okay, good. Take care, Tin. Appreciate you. Don't forget that merch pack. All right, let's keep listening to this idiot, Mike. This guy looks like he just found out his prom date is dating somebody better looking than him that is at another prom. What else is Mike? God, I'm so glad I am not a Republican strategist.
Goes through magnetometers before you even get on site. And, that protocol needs to be applied, especially when you have the president at a major event like this, and especially after now 3 assassination attempts. So, yes, a ballroom is imperative for a lot of reasons. I mean, look at tomorrow night. We're going to have a state dinner in a tent on the South Lawn. It's absurd.
Well, to be fair, Mike, he didn't have to destroy the east wing of the fucking White House if he didn't want him to have it in a tent. But, I don't know. I hate Republicans as much as anybody, but this guy, Mike Lawler, he could have been a Democrat. He's a moderate Republican. And instead, he's behaving like he's an idiot. He thinks he's an event planner. I've trust me, I've eaten cocktails at that guy's house. His wife doesn't know how to plan. She doesn't know how to plan a meal, let alone an event. Mike Lawler should not be talking about anything. He should just not be talking about anything at all. It's horrible. Jeffrey says Trump impeachment, not a top priority if Dems win House majority. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you rock the boat? There is nothing that warrants impeachment. Tell me something that the Democratic base actually wants, and I will tell you a bunch of petulant children who should be grateful for what they have. That's it. Period. End of sentence. Since when is politics about popularity of causes or support? God. These clips are dog water. Where's the clips? Oh, here we go. This is a la Stanford from before. She gets really, really flustered here. It's not her fault.
And yes, we should abolish ICE.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I think it's the prerogative of the moderator, the responsibility of the moderator and the organizing, or to actually go to the transcripts, to go to the video of the very first candidate forum. I was there, so I know what happened. It's across the street from my district office. It's the neighborhood I lived in. And the changes have moved. I will acknowledge that Senator Street said maybe we should abolish ICE. He said we should reform it or maybe abolish it. I remember that. I've actually looked at the video many times.
That's good.
I was very clear abolishing it because that has been my standard as the only legislator to have introduced legislation to address ICE.
Who is this guy? He wants to abolish ICE?
9 years ago, people.
9 years ago?
9 years ago. I didn't get a lot of love from Democrats. I was talking about that issue. And
yeah, you're not going to get any love from this Democrat because common sense reform is not exactly what the voters want. They want what you have been presenting for 9 years. But we have donors, Mr. Rabb.
Legislating on that issue. Dr. Stanford, you did not say you believed in abolishing ICE in that first candidate forum. And I don't want anyone to take my word for it. It's online. It's online.
I hate the internet. It used to be so much easier to flip-flop on issues in order to make the audience you were in front of happy. And now it's impossible to lie like you used to.
I'm glad that you're at that position now. And I'm glad that the super PAC that's funding you by $2.5 million says that you're for abolishing.
God, how does he know she's getting money from a super PAC? Okay, I may or may not have introduced her.
Nice. But that's not what you said at the first candidate forum. And unless that video was created by AI, everyone will know what you said. And it's important because if you're changing your opinion on something in such a short period of time, what does that say when you go to Congress?
Oh, God, I hate the internet, man. People changing their opinion in a short period of time is what this country was built on. Don't you understand that, sir? Don't you understand that's exactly how Democrats have won election after election after election? We say we're going to change the world. We get to Congress. We talk to the people that bought the ad space for us during the elections. We don't change anything. And then Republicans get in office and they make things worse. We win again and stop that, but don't make anything better. And then Republicans get in and they make things worse. But all the while, those super PAC dollars keep on spending. And we flip-flop. We say we're going to do one thing in the election and we do something completely different. That is what America is all about. Oh, crap. A double whammy. Here we go. Nice and short.
Well, they all fund a republic. So what do the CEOs of Blackstone, Palantir, and 10 other billionaires have in common?
They're all very close friends of mine, very nice guys, excellent vacation homes, and all of their wives are...
Well, they all fund a Republican super PAC that has started $2 million worth of attack ads against me across the state of Maine. They are running scared, and they should be. They know that...
You think they're running scared, big pal? All right.
We have the best chance to defeat Susan Collins this fall and turn the Senate blue. Now, this is...
What about Janet Mills? Bucko. Don't you know what Janet Mills has in store for Graham Plattner? He's getting a little ahead of himself, huh?
The do or die moment for us. We need to fight back, but to do so, we need help. We need to raise the money to fight back on TV and get our message out there. Now, we can get rid of Susan Collins. We can beat her this November.
Good luck. Susan Collins is like a cockroach. We've been saying we're going to get rid of her for a long time, but every time we throw up an establishment shill in the state of Maine, the people of Maine seem to suss out that the people we put up there really only vacation there if they can't get a better home in the Hamptons. It turns out not a lot of Democratic elites want to spend a lot of time in Maine because it's actually like naturally beautiful, but not in the way that's like just like kind of like mason jars at like a wedding for your millennial cousin. It's an actually like beautiful, rugged place. So not a lot of elite Democrats like to spend time up there.
But to do it, we're going to need help from people like you.
Not like me, pal. I get all my money from super PACs. I make donations through super PACs. Super PACs donate to me. They donate to my divorces.
Because we don't take money from AIPAC.
Well, you're stupid.
We don't take money from corporate super PACs.
You probably don't have that many friends.
PACs. We take money from regular people. Please, if you can, go to the donate link below and help us retire Susan Collins in November. So what are the CEOs of
He takes money from regular people and he thinks he could beat Susan Collins. Susan Collins is literally a Sherman tank of a special interest dynamo. She is right in the middle, right in that sweet spot. Republican, Democrat, doesn't do much. That is exactly the type of people I like to work with. So if my client Janet Mills gets shut out by Sasquatch here, you better believe me and Chuck Schumer are calling Susan Collins up and telling her we're going to take all of the Chuck Schumer money, we're going to throw it at Susan Collins, and we're going to make sure she beats this guy because he's taking money from normal people, and we are not the party of the working class. We are the party of the working class because Leo Burnett came up with that in an advertising seminar, and we paid them $30 million to come up with that, but we are not actually the party of the working class, okay? We are the party of working class billionaires and progressives like Graham Plattner want to see us return to the party of people who have a hard time making a living. But we know that's, Barack Obama tried to do the same thing. He tried to make us a progressive party, but we said no. No. He wants us to swear off super PACs in the primary. Come on, man. That's like Mick Jagger trying to swear off Diet Cokes. It's not going to happen. Mick Jagger loves Diet Coke. Trust me. I know Mick Jagger. Bernie Sanders. He's a funny guy. You know, he once gave an address once we got into the first Gulf War, which was nice for me and my friends. I was friends with Cheney back then. We both did a little work for Nixon. I was not a registered Democrat at the time yet. Had not come to see the light. But Sanders, he was real up in arms against the what was it? The first Gulf War. Did a whole thing. Oh, let's see where we got it. You know, the thing about Kamala is that she got a raw deal because me and a lot of my friends we made her stay with Biden team, and I was with the Biden team, and I think that she might have done better if she ran on the policies that she wanted to run on, but there's nothing we could do. Oh, Rasa DeLauro, she's a friend. Basic Supreme Court cases. I don't think we got to do that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't be this hard to work at the same job you worked yesterday. Shouldn't be this hard to afford a second bag of groceries. Shouldn't be this hard to take your kid to a doctor. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your taxes and know that those taxes are not dropping bombs on other people's kids, but instead invested in you and your kids and your future.
This guy makes me so uncomfortable. Everything he just said makes me so uncomfortable because there's 40 years of tradition behind those policies that he's taken a dump on.
Wrong color, wrong skin type, play the wrong way, I know. But I'll tell you this. I am not someone who's going to come and tell you what you cannot have and should not fight for. In these United States, you deserve to have guaranteed health care. In these United States, you deserve to know that your taxes are spent on you.
No, I'm sorry. There is nothing in the Constitution says that you have the right to life, that you have the right to liberty, and that you have the right. Shit.
In these United States, you deserve to have a union. So look, this movement is not about me, it's not about one seat. It's about what we do together when we come together asking for these building the future. Thank you so much.
What the hell? I am so tired of representing bad candidates. I mean, this guy is like, it's
the same job you worked yesterday. Shouldn't be.
Hey, we heard you. Jeez. I mean, it's like this guy is so charismatic. People are nodding their heads. They're smiling. He doesn't have any gray hair. It looks like he works out. I mean, all of the guys I am representing, I knew in their 40s, back in the 70s, when I was in my 60s. I'm 115 years old, believe it or not. My 8th wife gave me retinol and it changed my life. But listen, I mean, this kind of reminds me why I got involved in politics during Harry Truman. You know, I mean, this kind of passionate speaking. I mean, if there was anything wrong with this country, then this young man would have quite a political future. But as far as I'm concerned, me and the other people in Washington, D.C., we got nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. I mean, healthcare is great. We have the golden parachute congressional healthcare plans that we get. I served 6 months. I got a special appointment to a House of Representatives seats in 1978. So now I have lifetime healthcare. Only lasted 6 months. I lost my reelection campaign on purpose. I just wanted the healthcare. So everything's fine for me. And you know what we talk about? We don't worry about future generations here on the Democrat Consultant channel. We MOG. Money over our grandchildren. Our money over our grandchildren. That is mogging. I'm sick of Clavi Kolar. He always says mogging is about he's not using it correctly. I invented it. I invented it with Ronald Reagan. Oh, yeah, here we go. Boom. Look at this. Wisconsin socialist dream. Huh. That's actually unrealistic. The snow's a lot more in Wisconsin. Ha! That's a good one. I like that. I hate socialists. I dislike the Trump administration, but I hate socialists. Who's Brian? Oh, Brian. Wait a minute. What? UMich voter doesn't live in Michigan, and we hired him to talk so much about McMorrow, and now I'm finding out he lives in. Are you kidding me? He lives in Monmouth County, New Jersey. That is an upscale suburb of New Jersey. Huh. I knew I liked that guy. I knew that I had to keep pumping him full of super PAC dollars so that he could continue to support McMorrow. And who knew that he was living in a little he lives in a little alcove. I don't know who Brian Stack is, nerd. I've been in the business for a long time. Oh, here we go.
React and how irresponsible they have full-on Trump derangement syndrome, okay? And it informs how they see the world and how they react and how irresponsible they are now is on full display for the whole country. I hope voters remember this in the fall. You got to keep the grown-ups in charge, and that's the Republicans.
I wonder who does Mike Johnson's makeup because they do a beautiful job with his makeup. It's always so blended. It looks so nice. The amount of times I've seen him in Sephora in DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C., and he's walking by me, and I'm walking by him, and I'm always like, Mike, I know you do weird shit at Soho Club. It's okay. You're just among friends. I know that you're a vitriolic evangelical extremist, and you're a huge hypocrite, but how you like to get your bread buttered is none of my business. And then I see him trying on blush and doing his little faces, and my God, every time he shows up on one of these hack news channels with zero motion that only like 75-year-olds watch at gas stations while they're waiting to get their car fixed, his palette is incredible. He's just got beautiful, beautiful makeup every single time. Mike Johnson. You know, he lives in like a townhouse with like 3 pastors and like 4 guys who are probably convicted felons, and they all like do, they have fun together. That's what I hear. Anyways, we're going to end on Mike Johnson because he looks beautiful this evening. Maybe I'll go see him out at cocktails later. It'd be nice to see him. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't liked, follow, subscribe, do all of the things that we ask so that you can continue to support our mission of keeping America center right. We don't like to fight too hard. We like to write strongly worded letters. And we, more than anything, want to make sure that the billionaires who are trying to take over this country have little to no obstacles. That way we can stay in office. Thank you so much. We love you, America. And by America, I mean Peter Thiel. Good night.